go. Hello, everyone. Tony Warfield here out at US Vets Inglewood doing a financial literacy workshop. Because of the sensitivity of the people in the class, I will not be showing anyone's faces except my own, so just bear with me if I'm off camera. So today we got a few people here. We got WS1, Bruce Lee, and Magic Man that's going to be in the class today. So I'm really looking forward to be able to share some information. So going back to where I started, I wanted to do things a little bit differently today. Again, when you do these presentations, a lot of the information is a bunch of information that is not really pertaining to your situation, right? So what I wanted to do today was actually not really make you all the instructors, but take the opportunity to learn what it is that you're most interested in. Because I have videos that I do, I have presentations that I do. You know, we're not going to be able to get everything we need in a 90-minute session, right? Even if I come here every month, you're not going to get everything you need, and you're not going to be able to get everything that perhaps is pertaining to your current situation, right? So I'm Air Force. I got those little sticky buttons there. Let me know what branch of service you're in. I got your call sign, so I really like that. For the interest of fun today, my call sign is Warhead. Again, for everybody that's going to be watching this, we got Cue Ball, we got Seven, we got Bruce Lee. He chose Bruce Lee over Jackie Chan, and we got Magic Man, right? And of course, there'll be a few more people coming in as we continue to go through. But when we talk about this presentation, and let me make sure I started from the beginning. Let's see. All right, there we go. So, you know, WIS, personal finance. So WIS stands for Warfield Insurance Strategies. As an insurance and annuity specialist, that is my profession. But my financial literacy classes that I offer for free is my passion, because it's very important to me that veterans in particular are protected from some of the financial downfalls that we face after we exit military service. When we're in military service, whether you live on base or not, you're pretty much taken care of. You got food, you got clothes, you got a place to stay. And not often, either when you graduate from high school or you're coming from perhaps college or maybe directly out of the military, you know, financial literacy is not something that's offered. So if you're not taught how to properly manage your money, you can get into a situation. But even if you are taught how to properly manage your money, sometimes we have pitfalls. Sometimes we have slip-ups. And my goal for my veteran brothers and sisters, is to help us avoid and get out of some of those pitfalls, right? So I chose call signs today because I wanted to record this presentation. I don't really record your faces, and I don't want to record your names. Does that make sense? Okay. Unless your call sign is popular, like Maverick or something like that, I should be okay with Cue Ball, Jackie Chan. I'm sorry, Cue Ball, I just gave that to you, but it seems to work. I'm working with that right now. Okay, so if you would, because I want this recorded, I also want recorded some of the comments and questions that you have, because I'm going to be here every month, and every month that I come here, my goal is to make sure that the information that we're sharing with you is beneficial to each of you. Does that make sense? Because otherwise, I know it's kind of mandatory for y'all, for you to attend these classes every now and again. I don't want a mandatory situation to be an adversarial one. I want this to be an opportunity for us to open a dialogue, have a conversation so we can fix your situation. Because my goal is to make sure you're out of here. So let me give you a little bit of background, because I don't recognize you though. Yeah, I've been cool. Yeah, so well, you know my background. So my background, you know, former Air Force, I've done pretty well financially most of my life, but not all of my life. I've actually been a homeless veteran before. Now, I was very fortunate as a homeless veteran because I still had family to be able to lean on. So I was doing what you cowabunga guys would say, couch surfing. Right? I will go from one family member. So I was very grateful that I had an opportunity to spend time with family, be able to get myself back on my feet and try to figure out some of these things. But what I couldn't understand is how does someone that makes as much money as I did end up sleeping on someone's couch, right? It's because even though I was financially educated, I was not financially educated in the one thing that I needed the most. We are always taught how to make money, get a job, 40 years, 40 hours, whatever, but they don't teach you how to protect your money. So whenever there's an economic downturn like the dot-com crash of 2001 or the housing market crash of 2008, and every recession that we get, man, I'm not going to get political, so I'm not about to say what I was going to say, but every time we run into some kind of a financial pitfall in this country, it ends up affecting the people who are middle to lower class the worst. So my goal, particularly for veterans, is to make sure we don't suffer that challenge. So for these classes, instead of me giving you a bunch of generic information or general information that might not be pertaining to your situation, what I would like to do is ask a couple of questions of each of you that'll help me hone in on exactly what it is that you need. Does that make sense? All right, so Bruce Lee, every time I do a class, everyone always has two questions that's burning, two financial questions. If they come to a financial literacy class, if they actually voluntarily come to a financial literacy class or education, they have two burning questions. So you might not have two burning questions, but if you were to think about your situation, what question would you have on what might have happened in your past? Give you an example of what I mean. Back in 2001, I was a day trader. I think you remember that. And Frederick, what was it? Oh, that's right, we're not using that. We're using Magic Man today. So Magic Man, what did you tell me?
My building in Kelly. My building in Kelly.
Yeah, we're not using names today because I'm recording. But so we're gonna call Magic Man today. But I almost remember your story, but I've heard a few. But back during the dot-com crash, right? I was a day trader. I was doing really well. I went on vacation, and I did not set my financial situation to where I would be protected if the market were to crash if I were absent. So when I came back from vacation, 2-week vacation, I had already lost almost 6 figures worth of money, right? Oh my God. So obviously that was a calamity situation because I was over leveraged in some areas and I had to use some of the areas, money from areas where I was not over leveraged to be able to take care of the payments for that other stuff, right? But next thing you know, because the economic downturn situation was so dire for me, I lost 2 businesses and a job. So now I got 6-figure income losses and I have 6-figure losses from my portfolio, and I also just lost all my money that I had coming in. So I was in a really, really bad situation. And that bad situation, made me lose pretty much everything. Cars, house, everything gone, right? So if I were to ask anyone who could have protected me from that, my question would have been, what could I have done to protect myself from that problem, right? So my question to you, Bruce Lee, is what question would you have, financial question would you have that's burning in your heart that you would like to know to be able to help you grow? What question would that be?
Do you know of any good banks that might be helpful to people that maybe are kind of going through bankruptcy, don't have a lot of money, but has a little bit of money that needs access to, ATM machines, like a good, reliable bank?
So you know what, Bruce Lee?
Maybe Federal Credit Union.
Which one?
Maybe Federal Credit Union.
I do like the credit unions, but let me tell you the difference between a credit union and a bank, right? So first of all, thank you for that question because it's phenomenal, right? I do have a list of banks that I recommend to people.
Because I have a bank called Certified Federal Credit Union.
Mm-hmm.
It has a good network, but it's really the guy that sold it, the guy that that had it for his work at Stater Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think me having like the same, my the time it takes me to go to the bank and the time it takes my old boss to maybe wake up and brush his teeth to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
Is maybe conflicting, and I think I have to Chase my biggest.
Okay, so do you know the guidelines it took for you to get into your credit union?
The guidelines, I think you have to have a military ID. I have one. It's not, I was supposed to return it when I was at my work, when I was working a few months ago. I was supposed to have returned it to US 5 in Washington, but I forgot to do that. But I think I think sometimes if you have a T214, they'll, need the credit union.
Great, and that's the one benefit about being a veteran, because when credit unions first started out, they were basically like a community of people who had some money who wanted to be able to help other members of the community. It was more of an altruistic kind of relationship with the community. Now your credit unions are kind of acting more like banks, where they're kind of competing for, generating more income. So they're very selective on the people that they bring in there, right? So if you're someone that's not a veteran looking to get into a credit union, you almost have to have perfect credit and collateral and everything else to be able to get into a credit union. So credit unions
That's
are not.
something I noticed. Banking is a little bit different in this country, where like Wells Fargo, like maybe you're inexperienced, they're like, oh, I think this guy might be it. They'll try to sell you, and within like 2-3 years later, they're like, no, sir, we're not offering any accounts.
Yeah. So you really got to take a look at that. The best thing that you can do is be able to find a bank that's going to be able to accommodate your current wishes. I do have a list of that, so we'll get together, because I don't want to be marketing anyone else's business on my video.
Bank of America is pretty good.
I hate them.
I think they're kind of they're quite everywhere in this country, so it's awesome. Like if you need a bank, you can just not have to drive more than like 10 miles from anywhere in this country. That's maybe Bank of America.
Okay, so since he went ahead and used one of my top 2 most hated banks, Chase being the other one, you are right.
Chase is pretty good.
Yeah.
Chase is really good. I like Chase.
But what makes Chase and Bank of America so good for you? Accessibility.
Actually, I think Chase has the best accounting. Like if you have 50,000 in your account, it's gonna say 50,000. Maybe they'll shoot you over like, hey beginner, you don't know anything about interest or making money in this way. Here's like $5 for free. Something like that. Like maybe they'll even show it to you like for a few months. Here's like here's like $35 for free. Maybe if you try to stream like 20, 15. It's pretty cool. I've never noticed that with a lot of other banks, but Chase is special in that way. And
It's good to hear a positive testimony about Chase, because personally, thank you. Personally, I think Chase and Bank of America are the worst, particularly because of the savings component. So if you're looking at, if your primary focus is customer service, I'll give you that. Chase has pretty great customer service. But if you have a lot of money, a couple of thousand, 10,000, whatever, and you're looking for that money to be able to grow, Chase and Bank of America are actually the worst banks to put your money if you expect any kind of growth out of that money. If you're looking for accessibility, you want to be able to go to whatever ATM you need to go to that's not 10,000 miles away from where you reside, yeah, they're great. They're all over the place, right? But what they're offering for your money, you're looking at what they will charge you to borrow money will be as much as 32 times, 32%, right? As opposed to you getting maybe 0.01% for your money if you have your money in that bank. So if you're going to ask me about which banks to put the money into, there are a couple of types of banks that I would recommend. Obviously, a credit union would be great if you can get into one, but you want to start looking at the high yield and money market accounts that's going to be able to offer you interest rates that compete with inflation. So you understand inflation right now, last I checked, as I compete with this airplane flying over it, last I checked was about 2.7%. So if your bank is not offering you at least 2.7%, you're losing purchasing power of your money, right? So every year that goes by, your money continues to get weaker. So you want to make sure that your money is sitting in an account that's at least keeping pace with inflation. So right now, your money markets, they used to be kind of a big deal, that you'd be able to get some pretty decent rates above any normal high rate checking account or high rate savings account. But right now, because of the way especially with the Fed going down this week, and probably a couple more times later this year, the money or the interest rates they're going to be offering is going to be a little bit lower, but it's still going to be able to compete with your inflation rates and still going to offer you interest rates that's higher than a traditional checking or savings account. So my recommendations for a couple of really, really good banks, actually, they're mostly online. And if you have online access, the reason why online banks are the best is because they don't really have customer service for you to be able to work on. You kind of have to do it yourself, but you end up getting a 0.5% to a whole % more return on your money rather than using any kind of a customer service bank where you actually walk into a brick and mortar, right? If customer service is a big deal to you, if going to an actual physical bank is most important to you, I like BMO. I think BMO is really good because I like some of the stuff that they're doing in the community. And One United Bank, I'm actually quite fond of. We can also offer you a list of banks and the rates of return that they offer. I'll be able to share that with you guys in future classes. So that is a fantastic question, Bruce Lee. How about you, Q-Ball? What you got? Any burning question? No? Okay. How about you, Magic Man?
Metal stocks. Right now I'm investing in silver. I bought silver when it was $11.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's $42.
Excellent.
So that's a good investment, huh?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I only got one stock.
You only have one stock?
Only one stock is silver.
Okay, so is your question, is that a good investment?
So do I wait to cash it in when it goes higher?
Okay, so
I'll keep it.
that's an interesting question. So let me answer that question like this. How often do you monitor the performance of that stock?
Every 2 months.
Every 2 months.
Yes, every 2
Do you
months.
think every 2 months is frequent enough for you just to let it ride?
Yes.
It's not.
Not.
It's not. Because right now your indices change on a daily basis, even if it's just a marginal increase, right? So 2 months is so much time going by. If you're not paying attention to that, and the reason why it's important that I tell you this is because where is all your money at right now in that stock? And is all your investment in that one stock?
Yes, Vanguard.
Okay, it's all in that one stock. You don't have it.
That's
You don't,
it. That's it.
nothing else are you
Nothing
investing in?
else.
Okay, so what happens if silver fails during that 2-week siesta that you're not paying attention to that? And before you answer that question, let me tell you what I did. This is why this is important. Because back in 2001, when I was a day trader, I was watching this stuff every single day, Magic Man, every day.
You watch it every day.
I was watching it every day. And every day, everything would change anywhere from 0.1 minus something, plus 10 or whatever. Stuff was fluctuating constantly, but it still had kind of a normal raise, a normal growth pattern, right? You can see it, right? And I was doing really well. The money was coming in, it was great, right? But guess what happened during my vacation? We had that economic downturn where it was basically a dot-com crash, right? And I was gone for 2 weeks. You've heard this story before, but I want to tell you why this is significant. Is because I was heavily leveraged in technical stocks, right?
Right.
Now, all these technical stocks that I was leveraged in, they were all, well, not all, but mostly they were startups.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you have businesses that are startups, they are depending on investment money, right? And if people start getting a little bit iffy on how they want to invest their money, they will start pulling their money out of these different programs or pulling their money out of these different companies because they don't have the consumer confidence to keep that money in there. This all happened during my 2 weeks. Now, I had 5 tech stocks, okay? And all 5 of those tech stocks failed, but they didn't all fail at the same time. So had I been able to catch that even during that 2-week period, I might have been able to salvage some of that $50,000 I lost in that 2 weeks, right? Mm-hmm. So now let's talk about your situation. Right now, you have a situation in this country where things are a little bit sketchy, right? Even though the stock market, Dow Jones, and Standard & Poor's, they appear to be doing well right now, it's a little bit iffy on what's going to be happening, especially in the next few months. We just, the federal interest rate just dropped about 0.25%, right? We're looking at it dropping again a couple more times by the end of this year, which is great. if you are someone trying to buy a house, if you're someone trying to buy a car, if you're someone who's looking to do some more shopping or whatever. But when it comes to your investments, if you're looking to grow your money quickly with no protection, this is great. You can go out and start buying everything you want. But if you want your money protected, that means that a lot of the accounts that you have your money in, and talking about Bruce Lee's situation, where you have some of your money, that means a lot of the rates that they will offer you are being lowered. But in your situation, if you're investing in only one stock, that's extremely dangerous, because what you're saying is you're depending on the success of silver in a situation where silver might not do so well over the course of the next few years. So if you're watching it every couple of months, how has it been performing the 6 times you looked at it over the past year? It's been going up, 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 and up. Okay, but do you know why it's going up? Because let me tell you what's very questionable. Do you know what a tariff is?
Oh, okay, yeah, Donald Trump.
Yes.
Yeah.
So because of some of the tariffs, we have tariffs on steel, we have tariffs on a few other natural metals right now. I'm not sure how that stands with silver, but whenever you have a tariff situation where people don't understand, they start pulling their money out. So you can actually start seeing the price of silver to decrease. Now, what I know about gold always does really well, even in a down market, right? But silver fluctuates. So my recommendation to you, I actually have 2. My recommendation would be for you to increase your frequency in checking your account, and also start taking a look at other opportunities so you don't put all your eggs in that one basket.
So invest in more stocks?
I would start looking at other things, but again, it's important that you pay attention on a more regular basis, because 2 months it's kind of like a financial millennia, right? You should be looking at least once a week, because something is always changing. Pay attention to what they're doing in the federal government right now, because every time they cancel this or change that, raise this or lower that, your stock is going to respond, right?
Okay.
And if now this is your investment, are you looking for this investment to be to add to your retirement funding, or if it's just an opportunity for you to make more money?
It's absolutely more money.
Okay,
It's
I like that.
only one stock,
Okay.
It's going up. It's been going up since I bought
Okay, so if it's been going up, let it go up. But this is what I want you to do for me, right? The next time you get it, it's burning up in here. I should take this jacket off, but I'm on camera. But this is, oh no, you're good. This is what I want you to do, right? This is the one thing I did not do on the time when I lost my money. I need you to look at it more frequently and talk to your advisor or whomever is managing your account, and establish some kind of a minimum or a maximum drop, right? It's called a stop order, but you're not a day trader. So I'm trying to figure out what Vanguard would do for you. So when you contact your Vanguard accountant or account representative, it's like, say, what did you say? It's at $42 right now?
$42.
Okay, so if it's at $42 right now and it continues to go up, there is a minimum number that you're okay with, right? So as the market fluctuates, Magic Man, if it fluctuates between $42.50 and $42.75, no big deal. But if it drops below $42, you want to sell.
Okay, gotcha.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why? Because if you're used to seeing it fluctuate a normal amount and all of a sudden it starts doing something drastic, you want to get that out of there fast. Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why. This is why this is important, right? So if you sell it at $42 and it drops down to $25, what do you do when it drops to $25 after you sold it at $42?
Because I'm going to get to 70. You know what I'm saying? This
I hear you, but say it dropped. Say you sold it, say all your shares automatically sold at $42 and it dropped down to $25 after you sold it. Once it hits bottom, what do? You already sold it. You sold it at $42, right? So after it gets down to $25, what do? It's at $25. You sold it at $42, now it's at $25. It's never going to stay at $25.
Right.
Everything comes back up. So once it hits $25 after you sold it at $42, what do?
Don't do nothing.
You buy it back, man.
You buy it back?
Yes. because now it's lower. So that's the misconception people have in the stock market. If you have a 401k, 457, 403b, if you are a young person and you have your money in the stock market, you have time for the stock market's ebb and flows to come back into your favor. That's
right.
I would buy it back. Let me tell you why. Because if you look at the history of silver, gold, or any precious metals or any natural resources, they always recover. They always recover. But you don't have to own the loss. You can take advantage of that loss. So you say right now it's been sitting at $42.50. Now it's $42.75, and it just basically porpoises up and down. You call your Vanguard account manager and you say, hey, if it drops below $42, thank you. If it drops below $42, I want you to sell. Now it's 41, now it's 40, 39, 38, 37, 30, right? It's still dropping, but once it levels off, Magic Man, that's when you buy it back. And I would tell the same thing to anybody, because once you sell something, okay, you don't have to worry about that loss. But say you didn't pay attention for 2 weeks. This is the flip side of it. This is somebody that paid attention. You saw that it was struggling, right? You sold, you bought it back once it hit bottom, and now you start taking advantage of the growth again, because everything ebbs and flows. But if you didn't pay attention and you didn't set a stop, now you take the hit for that 42, 41, 40, 39, 38, all the way down to 25. If you still own those shares and it drops down to 25, do you sell once it hits 25?
No.
Very good. Why?
No, don't sell.
Why?
Because it might go back up.
Because it might go back up. And if you sell, you own those losses. Right. So in the first scenario, you gained $17. In the second scenario, you would have lost $17.
Because they make discoveries every day.
That's exactly right. So, but again, to make sure we're clear, I would consider looking at your account more regularly. If you have an account manager, see if you can get them to send you statements at least once a month. Okay. If they don't already send you statements once a month, and call them. That's their job, man. Right. Call them and find out how your account is doing. And if you can, at least diversify your money a little bit so all your money is not sitting in that one basket. Okay. Make sense? How you doing, sir? Atlanta.
Yeah, I didn't get in there, but I'm glad to be able to do that.
Oh, sweet. You know, you're pretty tall. Yes, you know, so you're about the same height as I dreamed I was. Years ago. I didn't quite make it there. So today we're not doing names. So, are you former military?
Oh, yeah, brother.
You're okay. What branch of service?
Navy.
It's all right. I won't hold it against you.
Yeah.
So in the Navy, did you have a nickname? Did you have a nickname or a call sign? Stretch. Obviously, right? All right, Stretch. That makes sense. My call sign was Warhead. So reason why we're not doing names today is because I'm actually recording this, so I don't want any faces or any names on this because I don't want to threaten anybody's privacy. All right. So Stretch, the Navy. What was your MLS in the Navy?
CM, construction mechanic.
Okay.
Combat engineer.
Yeah. Ooh, that sounds serious.
It is serious. I mean, it has encompassed everything that has a ground sea like that.
Okay. Okay.
So not too much air, but I mean, as far as the fight is, we got some, I think some commission air flyers still out there.
Did you serve on a carrier or a destroyer?
Nah, destroyer.
You served on a destroyer?
Yeah. We have one on the other day.
Nice.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
And you're still pretty young, so you could probably still scrap a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
Good, because we might need you in the next couple of months. So Stretch, the conversation right now, I'm kind of like, I don't know what happened to my source real quick, but I'm kind of I'm changing things up a little bit. Instead of having a presentation, just giving you a whole bunch of information, I like to be able to have a conversation specific to everyone's personal situation, right? And every time I have a conversation with my clients, they always have a couple of burning questions, financial questions, that I like to be able to address, right? So, you know, back in the day, you know, I had some challenges. You know, I was also a homeless veteran before. I was blessed to be able to have family that goes couch surfing. But, you know, as I move forward now, my goal is to make sure I help my veteran brothers and sisters avoid some of the financial pitfalls that I faced, you know, after I left the military. So do you have any financial questions that really are burning in your mind that we can be able to address today?
Number one.
You said number one, so let me be comfortable.
Entry purpose and cargo purpose. And what's the purpose of cargo services?
Which one?
Like, what's you say when you say like you said when you say a good question is card services and card holding.
Oh, you're talking about credit card holding service.
No, any kind of card service, bank.
At banks?
Like you have your funds, your W-2, you put your warrant wages, you put your hard-earned cash over.
You want to understand what's the purpose of a bank?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's actually a very significant question, right? There's a litany of answers I'm going to give you. I think Magic Man will remember the conversation that I had when we talked about having to do multiple things to do one thing. Have you ever heard of that before?
Yes.
Magic Man, do you know what that means?
Yes, I do.
I'm gonna share it with you anyway, just in case the class doesn't know. So back when I had my financial challenges, I had to do multiple things to do one thing. Well, Tony, what was the one thing I needed to do? I needed to pay the gas bill, right? So if you don't have a bank account, credit card, or anything, if you don't have the electronic means of paying that gas bill, right? In order for you to pay that gas bill without an electronic means, do they need cash? Yep. Well, if I was homeless, I probably didn't have a car. So that means I have to take the bus to wherever to pay the bill, right? Now, by the time I got there, do I pay the bill in cash? No. Why do I not pay the bill in cash? Because there's no record of it. So now I got to go to the post office first to get a money order to be able to go to the check cashing place to be able to pay my gas bill. And I had to do that all on the bus, right? So that's basically 3 or 4 things I had to do to be able to do the one thing that I intended to do, which is pay the gas bill, right? Now you would say, well, Tony, you were homeless, you don't need to pay the gas bill. Well, I had to pay something while I was living in these people's house, right? So sometimes you got to go through all these different processes to do one thing. So the purpose of the bank is to be able to have a safe location for your money. So if you're someone who has anywhere from $250,000 and below, it's federally insured, right? So if something happens to the bank, they go under or whatever, $250,000 and below will be protected. Anything above that, you should probably find another bank because that's the limit, $250,000. Another reason why having a bank is important is because of accessibility, right? Your money is protected. If you leave it in a mattress and there's a fire or someone steals it, your money's gone forever, right? But because your money is protected, if something happens to your money, they got to give it to you. They got to give it back to you. Another reason why it's important is how much interest can you earn if your money is in your mattress?
No.
None, right? How much interest can you earn if your money is in, it was this movie called Street Kings. I really liked it. It had Forrest Whitaker in it and Keanu Reeves. And they had all this money in the wall. It was great. It was all illegal money, but it was all in the wall. How much money can you earn if all that money is stuck in the wall?
No.
None. But if the money is in a bank, they're using your money. And because they're using your money, Stretch, they have to pay you for the use of that money. Now, what they're paying you to use your money and what they will charge you to use their money is a significant difference, right? But, you know, the benefits of having a bank account is, you know, you can use it for you to take care of any of your financial responsibilities. It protects your money, it's federally insured, and it also gives you an opportunity to earn additional money as the money is being used by that bank, right? And it's just better for you to have it. Now, which bank do you select? It depends on what we're talking about, because earlier Bruce Lee and I, we were discussing bank, and again, we're using call signs. So Bruce Lee and I were talking about which banks to use, right? So some people, for me, I want to make more money in the bank, and I'm pretty financially savvy, so I don't really need to have a conversation with anyone. I just want to go in there and do what I got to do and peace out, right? But if you're someone where customer service is most important to you, you want to be able to physically go into a bank and talk to someone, then you will find a bank that's going to give you the best customer service. I've seen some really, really great banks that offer the best customer service. To Bruce Lee's point, Chase and Bank of America, well, Bank of America, not so much in the Black community, but Chase has been pretty phenomenal in terms of customer service across the board, right? But Chase's return on investment, the money that they're using in your account, is not so great. Neither is Bank of America. So the best thing that you can do is find out what you want and how you want to be treated, how you want your money to grow. If your money is just supposed to sit in that account to be accessible to you whenever you need it, then you want to select a particular bank. If you have some money that you want to invest, or you want to have some money that you're going to put away for a while, that's a different bank, right? Especially if you're looking at, say you have $500 that you don't need right now. If you got $500 that you don't need right now, and it can sit in the account for like 6 to 7 months, consider a certificate of deposit, right? They offer you as much as 4.6%, right? Or money. So it's important that we take a look at that, right? It's important to make sure where we put our money is being considered, because we want our money to be able to outpace inflation. We want our money to be able to outpace even our own expenses in the early. So that when we start talking about budgeting is very important, because we got to have a positive discretionary income so we can start putting money away as much as possible. And the younger you are, the more aggressive your savings protocol must be, because what happens with inflation, what costs you $100 today, by the time you get ready to retire, it might be $150, it might be $200, it might be $250. I like to tell this. Does anybody know what a Suzy Q is? Am I dating myself?
A cupcake.
It's close, yeah. So back before Hambro bought Hostess had a cake called a Suzy Q, which was my favorite. It was delicious chocolate cake.
Cream and milk.
Yeah. Right. I used to freeze them. Yeah, I did.
You freeze them?
I used to freeze them and spread peanut butter on it to make it kind of like a Reese cake. It was delicious. It was delicious. Just for y'all. But now you can't do that anymore because it's garbage, so I'm thinking about it. I just like being nostalgic about that. Now, back in the day when I used to get this cake, guess how much that cake cost me?
10 cents.
49 cents, Magic Man. 49 cents.
I remember a case used to cost 10 cents.
So you understand what I'm saying, right?
years old.
You 59, I'm 54, right? So that cake was 49 cents back when I was 14, 15, 16. That same cake is $3.29. It doesn't taste any, actually it tastes like garbage.
It tastes different.
It's because it's a different recipe now. They
Right.
didn't get Hostess's recipe. But we're not here to talk about recipes. I go forever. But the point being is, what cost me 49 cents when I was 14, 40 years later, that same, well, it's not the same, but the same name on that cake is now $3.29, right? It's not a bigger piece. It doesn't have gold in it. It's the same stuff, right? But now it's almost $3 more than it was when I was 14. That's because of inflation. So you might say, well, 2.7%, we've been averaging somewhere between 3 and 4% since 1914 when they started looking at that, right? So if you could imagine something costing you 4%, 3 or 4% more every year, if you use the rule of 72, what is the rule of 72? The rule of 72 is, if you divide whatever the interest rate is into 72, that'll tell you how long it takes for something to double, right? So if you divide 3 into 72, what is 3 into 72? Anybody real quick? 24, right? So every 24 years, the price is going to double. But if the interest rate, if the inflation goes higher than 3%, 4%, 5%, then it's going to double sooner. So you have a situation where it was 49 cents for me when I was 14, now it's 3.29. Same thing happens with your money. For this is for Bruce Lee as well as for Stretch. If your interest rate is not keeping up with inflation, you're losing money. If you're not earning a high rate of return for your money, it takes longer for your money to double. So if you're only getting 1%, that means your money's going to take 72 years to double. If you're getting 2%, it's going to take your money 36 years to double. So when you're a young person, if say you're a young person, you're 30 years old, and you got your money in an account that's doing 7%, that means your money's going to double every 10 years, right? So if you plan on retiring at age 60, it's going to double 3 times. So if you had $10,000, and it doubles 10 times, the first double is 20,000, the second double is 40,000, the third double is 80,000. So where you started out with 10,000, now you're at 80,000. And because it grew at a rate that was higher than interest, your buying power will be just as strong, if not stronger, by the time you're ready to retire. And that's what you want. Because does anybody know what the biggest fear everybody has when it comes to money?
Spending big. I guess I mean, to me it would be like, like say, making big.
Interest rate.
Interest rate. The biggest fear when it comes to money is people are afraid of running out of money before they run out of life. That's a fact. People are more afraid of running out of money than they are of dying. Yes, Magic Man.
So the government gonna give us a pay rate of 2.5%.
It's 2.5%.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what's the rate now?
2.7%.
Man.
Why do you think I'm doing these classes, bro?
Man.
Come on, why do you think I'm doing these classes? Are you serious right now? But I want you to think about this though. It should be more. So if you don't have a budget stretch, right, or if you're not in the right bank, Bruce Lee, or even though it should be more, you need to start budgeting better because this is what's happening, right? You have a situation where everybody's looking at the economy right now, right? They're going, well, the economy looks like it's doing good. This looks like it's doing good. Is it? Okay, who is it doing well for?
Rich people.
Thank you. The top 20% of income earners in the United States right now are the only reason why the economy looks like it's doing well. A lot of these companies that are doing better right now, it's like, hey, my company is doing better. My company is doing better. Is it? So what is the cost per unit versus the number of units that are being sold? You understand what I'm saying by that? So if a company is doing well by the number of units being sold, for me, that company is doing well. But if you're only doing well because the president put tariffs on everything, or if you're only doing well because the inflation forced you to raise your prices and now all the additional profit that you got from, basically charging more for the same product, that's exactly what's happening. So what ends up happening is the people who are not on budgets and the people who do not know how to properly manage their money, they cannot purchase these goods and services the way that they used to. And then what ends up happening, you end up putting a strain on the economy, and then you end up in a recessive period where everything gets shut down. And if everything gets shut down and consumer confidence continues to decrease, what happens to the money in your accounts?
Gone.
It starts to decrease.
Yeah.
It's not giving you the same yield or the same returns that you want. Does that make sense?
Right.
So that's why it's so important that we understand some of these dynamics in the market, some of these dynamics in the banking systems, some of these dynamics in how you have your personal economy, because that's the conversation I want to have with you. It's your personal economy that I'm talking about. Whatever's going on in the federal government and banks and all this other stuff, that's important for you to understand. Yeah, it's important for you to understand, but the reason why it's important for you to understand is how does that affect your money? If you don't have a full grasp on how that affects your money, you will not have any money. And that's what's happening to us by the tens of millions right now. So I cannot. You said that the VA rating right now. What 90%? What is that? 2278 right now. 90%.
2297.
2297. 97.
We'll get 2335.
Right. So check this out. This is important, right? You got a VA rating right now. You're at 90%.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a VA rating right now?
Yes, sir.
What's your rating? What's your rating?
100.
You're at 100%. Bruce Lee, what's your rating? 50%. I do my paperwork on the 24th, so I'm at nothing. Right? Hey, shut it up. But I'm gonna get something eventually. Good job on 100%, right? That's a big deal. Is it 100% employable?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm right now. I went to my search or whatever, my appointments.
No.
But it's like, I don't know. I got a letter, and I didn't really want to fuck with it. I don't know.
Okay, it's important for you to identify whether you're 100% employable or not. Because if you're 100% employable, you can still have a job and still get that $4,400 What, 4,000 something?
Yeah.
Something, because this, do you have your rating with children, married or married with children, or just single?
Just single.
Okay, so that is about 4,000, right? I'm trying to remember the chart, because I remember that the old chart, let me see.
I think it's only 800, something like that. But it's going up.
I think I have the old chart in here.
Then it goes up again, December 1st.
December 1st, right? Yeah, so this is the old chart. So the old chart without the payments was 39.74. We went up 2.5%.
Right.
So that puts us a little bit over $4,000. That's pretty good, right? If you were with spouse only, that's 4,200 plus another 2.5%. With spouse and one child, 4,200 plus another 2.5% and on, right? So that's for 100%. And 90% is a significant jump from 90% to 100%. So for all of those that are watching online, that's why we're applauding, because 100% is a job to get that, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, Stretch, you the man. So that means Stretch is buying lunch for everybody today.
Yeah.
Good job. So, you know, while I got about another 25 minutes. Did I answer all your questions, Stretch? Magic Man?
I'm gonna look more about treasury bonds.
Treasury bonds, you know what? That's a separate class, and we can cover that. Okay, but I'll do a video on it. I'll make sure I have your email address. You had one question. Do you have any more questions? Okay, so what I'd like for y'all to do, I didn't give anybody any pens or anything. Okay. What I'd like for you to do, because I didn't put it on the website, is I want to be able to do videos specific to, please. I want to do videos specific to your needs, right? Because again, we're not going to be able to cover everything that you need in a 90-minute class, even if I do come here every month. What I learned from the last time I was here, with the exception of Magic Man, not everybody attends every class, but I still want you to be able to have access to the information. Okay, yes, Magic Man.
Everybody, don't come on a Friday, come on like a Wednesday or Tuesday. The Friday, it's like a 3-day weekend around here. A lot of people go to the beach. If you can.
That's some powerful input, though.
I'm gonna go to the beach today.
Okay, Fal, you can't do Wednesdays.
Not right now, no.
What day of the week can you do?
I have to wait and see, because they're in the process of changing our schedules at work.
Got it.
So I might have to start doing a different thing on Thursdays, but I can see later.
Okay, so Magic
Because a
Man,
lot of people come today.
I see that. So what day would you say is the best day? Tuesday is the best day? Man, my Tuesday just keep.
Monday's the worst day.
Oh, I can't do Monday so much. Tuesday is the best day. Tuesday or Wednesday is the best day. All right, you know what? That's some valuable information.
Yeah.
So that's my handler. Fallon is my handler. She's the one that does all the scheduling for me. So if she's not available on Wednesday, I can't do a Wednesday.
Yeah.
So let me know if you can do a Tuesday or Wednesday.
I'll talk to Kevin this week.
Yeah, let me know. Because I specifically want Fallon.
That way you catch everybody here.
If I can catch everybody here on a Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll change my schedule to accommodate that, because I want to help as many veterans as I can. So that was valuable information. I should have asked you guys that the last time I was here. Okay, so if I answered everybody's questions, I got a couple of minutes left, and I wanted to cover a couple of things real quick. So to the point for Bruce Lee and for Stretch, I had information about banking and management systems, banking management. So we'll be talking about that. This right here is the budget sheet, Stretch, and I don't have a copy of one, but I'll make sure I get you a copy of one. If you put your email address on that, I'll make sure I'll send you an email with that information. All right, I'll send you all the documents. Bruce Lee, I don't think you have a copy of them either. So if you send me an email, if you share your email address, you don't have to give me your name, but if you share your email address, I'll make sure you get these documents as well. I'll make sure all of you have access to the videos. You can watch them at your discretion, right? I do know that they have a computer center here, so you'll be able to access that information. Does everyone here have an email account?
Yes.
You have an email account?
Yes.
Stretch? Okay, great. So if you have an email account, please share. You don't have to give me your name, You don't even have to identify yourself, but in order for me to get this information to you, please share your email address because I want to be able to get this information to you. Fallon's going to have me here we're going to change the day, obviously. Right now, we're scheduled for the third Friday of every month. I'll get it from you momentarily. I'm scheduled for the third Friday of every month. So it was important to me to be able to address more of your interests. And now that I got your call signs, I really like the call sign idea. Is that okay?
That's cool.
Okay. The reason why it's important is because I do want to start recording some of these presentations because I think the information that we're sharing is great. But most importantly, I think the questions that you ask me are the most important thing. Because a lot of people can't make it to these presentations and they might have the same question. And if they can get the answers that they need, it's beneficial. So I really appreciate you gentlemen joining me on that. So, say again. It's free. Well, you know what? I'm glad you said that. So let me tell you a secret. I am a businessman. Do you think I expect any business from this? No, I don't. Why am I doing it?
You blessed. You gotta bless other people.
My mom,
blessing.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. I am blessed. So I'm sleeping on my mother's couch. And my mother's looking at me like, what the hell are you doing? Get off your, you know what, right?
Recently?
You got all, no, this is back in the day, right? You know, and she's like, well, what are you doing? Get off your butt, blah, blah, blah. You're too smart to be doing this, that, or whatever. As smart as I wasn't financially intelligent, right? I can do calculus, I can do trigonometry, you know, I can balance a checkbook, but knowing how to protect my money, they didn't teach me that. They don't teach this stuff in school, right? When you go to the military, they stretch. You were on a destroyer. Did they teach you how to balance your checkbook?
So yeah, I balance my checkbook and wait and stand by.
Stand by. Oh my God! Don't give me the stand by. When you're in the military, they teach you how to blow stuff up. Right? I was a flight engineer. What the hell am I doing with XOD credits, right? I'm up here being a member of the bomb squad and I'm in the Air Force.
That's all you know right there.
What? Right? But they teach you how to destroy stuff, but they don't teach you how to protect your money. So every now and again, you get lucky enough to have some kind of a small financial literacy class, but it really doesn't address your current situation, especially when you have to learn how to manage so little money in the early years of your enlistment or your officer years, right? So my goal here is to make sure every veteran that I come in contact with does not go through what I went through, right? Now, this facility here, it might not be exactly where you want to be, but it's a perfect opportunity for you to take the time to learn what you need to learn so you can get in a better position later in the later days of your life.
Right.
This is only a way station in your life. This is not your life. You understand that, right? Believe me, when you got a mother like I had, my mother was a Virgo, right? She passed a few years ago. It was her birthday this week. God rest her soul. I'm blessed to have a mother. But she was hard, man. She was hard. And
Old school. My mom never the same way. Old school.
hey, you know what? And she had no problem cussing me out.
Yeah,
Man,
in front of people.
Come on, wait a minute. Are you my brother?
Listen, we'll be in front of people.
I can't say I had that. My grandma did that, but you know.
It looked like she had like a weird gate in her mind, and I think it was trying to explain that the situation where I got myself into is it's going to take a lot of time, and you call them today or tomorrow, they're going to just say we don't really know. Honest to God, have checks been mailed since? Probably no. Probably the last time I talked to them, they said like, yeah, like 3 or 4 of them just got sent out like last year. But that's the same year in 2023, and maybe again in 2020 last year.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Maybe there is a general consensus where 2100 is maybe in some faraway future land. They do their writings differently. It's just, you know, right across the board, 1111, like 4 1's like Veterans Day.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy actually, for accumulating data, he's on that side. He no longer collects VA benefits.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I got myself into a huge mess. They did kind of have a point of fiduciary, and they kind of did square everything away for me,
Mhm.
where the actual amount that I accidentally got tangled up with was quite a bit lower, maybe like 4 times less
Okay.
than the final amount that I got stuck with, or that people kind of know about. Like, yeah, no, I don't get any benefits from the VA.
You don't get any benefits from VA right now.
No.
And no, is it anyone in this facility that's helping you correct
No,
that?
I'm actually working out a misunderstanding that occurred between the police and myself a few years ago.
Okay.
I put in court for dialing 911, but they're like, no, the judge is like, no, this is dismissed. You did your community service.
Mhm.
You did your anger management 26 hours.
Okay.
Like, it's kind of like these. They just want me doing groups, and heavily medicated. Right now people aren't happy with this guy. We just want him out of people's ways. Plain hindsight view.
Mhm.
Just do as many groups. Just stay out of. Yeah. So in February, when my case gets presided over, I'm going to my dad's house in Korea, and my dad has a place for me.
You know what I want to do with your permission, as well as the rest of the class. A friend of mine actually put me on to this one guy that's helping me get my VA rating. They actually call him Wiz. If you can imagine that. He actually is. He's really, really great. I'd be interested in getting him to do kind of a video explaining a few things for that. I don't know what the rules are for DMH or this facility, but I'll find out if it's okay to connect him, because your VA rating, that money is yours. And it took me a long time for me to accept that as truth, but I finally did after speaking with a few people. So now I'm finally starting to do something with it. But I got to tell you something, and I'm glad we're using call signs and I'm not recording, because I want to record this comment, but I don't want your name or your face being in this. I was in 2 wars, and my PTSD is not from the wars I was in, but the neighborhood I was raised in, right? The most traumatic things I've experienced in my life were on the streets of LA. You're looking at a guy that lost friends being shot down in aircraft and being blown up by, improvised explosives and all this other stuff. And the most death I've ever seen was on the streets of LA.
It was bad out here.
It's pretty bad, right? But that doesn't mean that my experience in the military was that easy either. So military personnel, regardless of your MOS, we suffer a few challenges. And some of those challenges are really difficult to manage, especially when you're caught on hard times, right? So I mention that because, if you had a run-in with the law, right, there's a couple of things that I would be interested in helping you with, like perhaps getting some things expunged from your record, right? If you've already paid your debt to society, that doesn't mean you should not be able to take care of yourself. One of the problems that I have, particularly in California, is their desperate attempt to make sure everyone has felonies, so you really can't do anything, right? So if there's a way for us to be able to help you out of some of that stuff, do you know when you want to go back to Korea?
I'll be thinking in February. So.
February next year?
And I already have an attorney that I hired for my 911.
Okay.
2 false reported emergencies while I was working at State Brothers. This guy's just like, here's an awesome credit union. I'll hook you up with all that stuff. I think what he's trying to do is he's kind of a mobster, and he's trying to show, hey, yeah, like veterans, I love them to the max. Just any bind you have.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, you almost lost $1,000 yesterday, but maybe by you having this credit union, and that guy Bernard, I don't know what's his last name. He makes the interception, and
You're talking about a gambling book?
No, but I'm thinking no. The service is so crummy. I'm gonna take up a Bank of America checking account. But yeah, the guy said, heavily affiliated guy, and maybe him being there and maybe me having his own information, like it could help me out of a jam some way or another. But I don't think, I think it's actually more convenient for me to be able to just walk into like walk out of a building, and if I need money, just
Yeah, so, you know, accessibility is your primary
Bank of
goal.
America,
Right, accessibility, yeah, I get that, yeah.
make a deposit there or do anything, do any kind of stuff there, you know.
If you're looking to go back to what, and I'll right in a minute, Matt. But if you're looking to go back to Korea, do you plan on remaining in Korea for the duration, or you plan on coming back?
I think so. I don't think it's a situation where my mom's like, nah. I don't think this kid will ever turn into just a contractor. But she did ask me politely to come back in 2 years because I took so many trips out there.
Okay.
And she just said, come back. So that's like in about 12 more months. I think it's been already 8 months because I was actually in Washington.
Okay.
And I was so upset. I was like, Mom, is there anything else better we could talk about? But then I had to call my employers and apologize because they're like, boy, don't you have any people that take care of you?
Right.
But no, my mom was like, yeah, just come back in 2 years and you have income. We'll have everything. We'll have everything in. It sounds like everything in place that I'm quite accustomed to. You know, roof over my head, car, nice income.
Well, let me interject. So, while you're going back to Korea, have you established a way to make sure your VA disability payments are paid to you regardless of the country that you reside?
No, they don't like it that much out there. They don't. I tried to. I was like, hey, you know what? This thing, the money, it's so detached, separated from. Hey, you go to the psychiatric facility. They give you free food or free place to stay. Most people, if you do that way, you can collect the benefits. It's maybe like people want to like give you up and stuff. But then over here, it's kind of opposite situation, but it's something in my mind, son, just tough it out. Just tough it out and just stay the course. But yeah, I think people have to realize that benefit thing. They have to, in Korea. So I was like, oh, yeah, can I mail a check here? And then just shut my bank down in the US, and then the benefit's gone. My dad didn't really say anything, but I think I have a father that did a lot of time, a bunch of time, and I think he was like, oh, fuck, what if it's that thing that I did like the 50 time?
That should affect how you're banking the situation. Yeah, that should. Yeah. So real quick, we need to
But
establish.
he didn't say anything. So, but I ran a check over to their banks once, and they were kind of like, this is gonna be tricky because the fucking banks over there, it's all done in a different language and different mannerisms and stuff. But I think my brother, I have a really successful older brother because he works for like the health sector. He makes quite a bit of money.
So he would know exactly where you could
But
put
I
your
think, and he's a West Point grad, and all his friends are kind of. So my dad lives really close to one of the military installations up there, the U.S. Army bases. And we don't really talk much about it, but yeah, I think the base were just like kind of being sarcastic. But they did say, oh, we have to put you down lightly, but the shit that you walk in a check from the United States and it has a New York all over it and stuff, like they said you have to just contact them
Mhm.
and figure out a different way to.
Yeah, you're gonna need more electronic funding, right? So let's put a pin in that right now. Matt, did you have a question?
No, I don't have a question. I was just gonna say that, like, for those that are like they don't want to put in for claims and stuff like that, like the VA is given like a certain budget, like a certain amount of money for all the veterans, right?
Right.
So the people that aren't putting in for claims, they're actually screwing over the people that are 100%, because now they're saying like if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So I encourage veterans to put in for it, and there's no limit as far as the amount of claims that you put in for.
Do me a favor, can you come over here? I want to make sure this is recorded. You don't have to get on camera, but I want you. I want it to be louder. So say that again.
So just for anybody that's interested or wants to know more about like VA claims and stuff like that, the VA is given, the government they give the VA like a certain amount of money so that they can use every year for veterans because so there's a lot of veterans. We're all prideful, right?
Right.
Nobody wants to ask for help because we're like, nah, fuck that,
Right.
But if you're not putting in for these claims, you're like, nah, I'm good. But now this guy, he's at 100%. Now you're screwing him over because now he's not going to get that money because you're not putting in for it. Because you're too
That's
prideful
interesting.
to put in for that.
That's
Does
interesting.
that make sense?
Okay.
And then as far as like the whole like the banking system and stuff like that, if you download the app, all you have to do is just put in all your information, like all your bank information. It doesn't matter where you go. I know so many people that are overseas, like in Europe, Mexico, stuff like that, and they're collecting 100% for the rest of their lives.
Really?
And there's no issue.
Do you have to have a bank in those other countries for the money to go into? Or can you keep the bank that's in the United States and have that?
I'm pretty sure it's both.
Really?
Pretty sure it's both.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you for that. Thank
Yeah,
you
so
for
just
that.
download the app and then that'll
Do
take
you
care of
know the name of the app?
Yeah, the VA app.
Just the regular VA
Yeah,
app?
I have it.
Easy peasy. Yeah.
I'll show you too.
Yeah, let's go ahead. I don't know if we can get that online, but the regular VA app.
Yeah, so you just sign in with your ID,
Yeah, I have it on
facial
my phone.
recognition,
Yeah,
and all that
that's
stuff. And then you just go to payments, and it tells you, direct deposit information, and then you put in whatever you want to put in.
Okay. Easy peasy. And you don't have to worry about carrying any, Bruce Lee, you don't have to worry about carrying any checks in any place. It's already loaded into your account.
Anywhere in the world, man.
I love it. I love it.
Money still coming in.
Man,
Every month.
that's the goal. We gotta make sure that money is coming in. So I'm hoping that you're gonna be here. I don't know, once we fall, because we're running out of time right now. It's already 12:30. I like to be on time. So let me close with this. The next time I come out, my goal, particularly for the three of you, is to be able to move forward on some of the questions that you have. Stretch, I want to make sure that we get you the right bank that's going to be able to work for you, for yourself as well. Magic Man, I want to make sure that your investment portfolio is more diversified. All right, this fly is really bothering me. I wish I could kill it, but
You can.
yeah, right. So you have a situation where even though that silver is doing well, it's still all your eggs are in one basket.
Right.
If you want to keep all your eggs in one basket, you need to look at your account more frequently than every 2 months.
Okay.
Like I would start looking at it every week.
Every week. Okay.
Every
got
week,
it.
all right?
Okay.
So if you filled out those surveys, let me know what you're most interested in. Moving forward, I want to be able to accommodate every one of your questions, because if your question is something that's important to you, that means it's actionable. That means you're going to do something with the information rather than just me sharing a bunch of generic information that you don't really need at this time. Yes, sir.
So when is the next time you come back here?
Well, it's supposed to be the third Friday of every month, but some guy named Magic Man told me Fridays suck because everybody treats them like
Everybody go,
three
look,
weekends.
around, look.
So,
Everybody go.
you know what? I don't have a call sign for you two. What call sign would you like since I'm recording this?
Well, I don't matter.
What, you don't matter? Well, we'll just call you Maverick then. What about you? Eyeballs. Yeah, because she giving me that. She give. Oh, that's your name. The Look. I'm Warhead. You're the Look, and we're gonna call him Maverick. So I thank all of you for joining us today.
Thank you.
My goal is to make sure we have as many more people in here as possible, because I really want to see the information that I'm sharing with you being beneficial, right? I'm a wealth of knowledge. I have access to a lot of other financial professionals that are in even more of a wealth of knowledge. But The reason why I mention them is because anything that you cannot get accomplished with what you're working on right now, I'm a professionally licensed, I'm a professional who's licensed with the state of California, but that's in life insurance and annuities, okay? So when it comes to taxes, credit restoration, any VA benefits, I will get you a professional. I can teach you about these things, but I will get you a professional that works in each one of these categories to make sure you have a bona fide champion for whatever needs that whatever financial needs you might have. Anything out of the financial realm, I really don't mess with that. But when it comes to your money, I want to make sure you get as much of it as possible, which includes getting from 50% to 100%, 90% to 100%. Because as we saw earlier, you know,
$1,700.
that, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know,
I need that.
you even though this is an old chart, it still shows you a significant amount of increase, right?
Yeah.
You know, even the 2025 was from $2,400 to $3,900, right?
It's crazy.
That $1,500 at least is a one-bedroom apartment somewhere in California, maybe not LA, but it's somewhere, right?
Maybe
So-
you continue where I'm from.
Yeah, so I'm gonna close out, but did I have any closing questions? Any closing remarks from you all?
Thank you for your time, bro.
Thank you. How about you, Stretch?
Oh, no, no.
How about you, Bruce Lee?
No questions.
How about you, Maverick? The look, you got anything? All right, so for everybody that's online, right here we're at US Vets. It's an opportunity for me to be able to share some information with my federal veterans. We're gonna be meeting here every month. My handler is gonna tell me how long that's going to be. So until that, I say thank you to everybody and God bless.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you
Thank
next
you.
month.
Yes, sir.
Oh, what time does this class start? 11?
11 o'clock,
I
yes.
have some flyers on the table over there if you want to get.
Okay.
And I'm
Is,
gonna,
is it the last Friday of every month or?
it's the third Friday. Right now is the third Friday because Magic Man's saying that more people will be available on Tuesday.
How can we get this fast? They get paid on the first and they broke on the second. I'm serious.
They get paid on the first, they broke on
They
the
broke on the
second.
second, man. And yeah, too much. Look, that's you.
If I ever heard of a place that needs a financial education
Right
class,
here.
right?
Where
Yeah,
you at?
yeah.
See? Serious, man.
Stretch, you know what? I don't know why they gave you your name.
Oh, yeah, because it's hard to shoot the buck. Nah,
Because what is your height right now? 'Cause that's you 6'7".
yeah.
It should be the
And
NBA,
you're in
man.
the Navy? They don't have a place to fit for you in the Navy.
They had just basically.
Your feet hanging off the edge of the bunks all the time, right?
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the awesome presentation.
It already seemed like that was going on there.
All right.
Thank you, sir. What's your name?
All right, I'm Tony.
Nice to meet you, sir.
All right, Tom.
I hope to see you next month.
All right.
See you next month, Magic Man.
I get the housing soon, though.
For sure.
I get the housing.
You get your house when?
My housing on West LA campus. Probably next week.
Next week? I really want to know about that. Can I send me an email? Let me know that you got your house.
Okay.
That's huge information for me. That's a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, make that
It's
happen.
brand new.
All right. God bless you on that. See you next time.
All right.
So
All right.
glad. Okay, I don't want you on camera because protect your identity. So I'll see you next time I come through.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. And Navy?
Yeah,
Why not Air Force?
I don't know. I was on command engineering. That's my choice.
Combat engineer, yo.
Hell yeah.
All right, that's like serious.
I mean, hell yeah. Appreciate it.
All right, God bless you, brother. See you next time. All right.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
You don't take more time ago?
Take whatever you want. But if they got any chocolate chip cookies over there, save one for your boy. And how do I turn this off? Thank you, everybody. I'm a peace out now. As soon as I figure out how to turn it off.